Is that going? Yep. Hello.
Now going.
So this is our first attempt at a video log / podcast. Just wanting to get our message across, really, and I think it'll be cathartic for us to reflect a little bit. I've been writing, been trying to get Scott to do some vlogs and things for quite a while. Yeah, we talk about this stuff a lot, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about lots of stuff, but this is kind of, I guess, our passion, and that's partly why the Rewild project was set up, and that's part of why we want to bring solutions to the table and be positive in that. There's so much like doom porn, it's just off the scale, but you can treat this video as just a bit of a podcast, as in just listen to it in the background. You don't have to watch us because we're not going to do any like crazy moves, maybe at some point. But interesting, like talking about moves and movement, I guess, yeah, I've been really sort of fearful of putting like videos out, because I guess it's sort of like the inner critic, but then like the mirror of scared of like the outer critic. And I don't know, not to compare, but personally it feels like I do get quite a lot of resistance, you know, but then that's my trigger. Then maybe I've got more triggers, and through those triggers I'm trying to give gratitude really for people bringing that up. You know, it's my choice how I deal with it. So yeah, a lot of fear around social media, especially being on film or just putting my voice out there, because you just become a target. And often it feels like I've got a massive target on me. Well, you know, maybe I'm paranoid.
But there's also so many people, isn't there, that do align with what we're talking about, what you're talking about. And I think that's the really important thing, is that, you know, we've been looking for other projects to align with, and we are doing, which is really exciting. But then also there's things that we have that are needed in the world as well, and not even just skills but ideas, and we have to find ways to get these to have these conversations with people and to get these ideas out. You know, some of the things that we've tried out that have worked, some of the things that haven't worked, and I think it's important to have that humility of like, we're all on a journey, aren't we? We're all on a journey, and I think the more that we share our voices and our ideas and our experiences, Scott has had lots more experiences than I think a lot of people, in terms of like, yeah, he's done some amazing things, haven't you?
Well,
you don't think you
it's
have,
not about comparing, but then it's not about comparing, it's just that fear thing, isn't it? People are so fearful of doing anything different or change or accepting change. And I guess like, you know, we are somewhat products of our environment, and unfortunately our environment's civilization, and it's a fucking shit show, and everyone's realizing that. Even the people who are running it, well, they knew that from the start, or whoever they are, whatever they are. But we're complicit to, we're just allowing it to go along until it collapses, because it is on the brink of collapse. Everyone's talking about it, and I'm not just bringing like the fear. Well, I don't want it to be fear. It can be exciting as well, because being excited and being fearful are two very similar emotions and reactions, and there's very similar symptoms, aren't there? You know, you think about what you feel physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, with something that you find fearful, and then compare that to comparing again, but realize the correlation between being excited and being fearful. And I think this is the point we're getting to now, and this is why we're moving on, and we're like relieved that we're not really having to work with the dark side, such as Forestry England and these so-called do-gooders, trusts, that we know there's other ways of creating community. We don't have to go through all that nonsense.
Yeah.
And all the rule books, because that's the rule books were made to oppress us.
I think that is one of the reflections as well that I've not written about yet, is the the control that's exerted upon small organisations with the dangling the carrot of like grant funding or prestige, of having these partnerships, of doing things properly. And it's not that we don't want to do things properly, but we want to do things, you know, for instance, you know, we was told by one of our funders to tone down our Facebook page and not put pictures of butchering and skinning animals on there because it might shock some people, and they didn't want that. Oh, sorry.
Speak up, Emma.
We haven't got the microphone this time. We will have a microphone. I forgot it. But yeah, we got sucked into that. It felt really important to be able to get that money and put it into doing some good in the community and creating jobs. And, you know, we know that we can write policies and risk assessments, and we know that we do keep people safe, and we know that what we're doing is like really valuable to people. And it felt like, oh, we can just tick a few boxes by you know, to get this money to make this work even more impactful. But actually what they do slowly but surely is just crush your spirit with bureaucracy. And yeah, my 50 page...
I mean, look at it. I mean, like, you can look at pretty much any funding, the majority of the funding, probably not all of it, but a vast majority. And you look at the longevity, you know, regeneration, you know, sustainability is kind of like the old word, you know, just to keep things just slightly ticking on. It's not even that. It's not even sustainable, a lot of this funding for these projects. But if you're looking at sort of the future and for it to regenerate, then there's usually a lot even less of that. Because once the money gets pulled out of it, because the funding's so short, then you're in a situation where you're still living in a monetary-based world, and the economic system is based on division and certain classes,
and I think the other thing as well,
or attitudes to class, or
is that the way I saw it is that each pot of funding was like a start-up loan that we didn't have to pay back, and you know, giving that to somebody as a project to run, so that they were employed, and it was like, okay, like, make this a self-funding thing. You've got a year of this funding. And I've seen it with other organisations as well, and someone takes on that role, but they don't see it as that, do they? They do the job for that time, and then it just comes to an end and it just stops, and it's not sustainable.
It's just, you know, it's just like fireworks shows aren't sustainable. You know, funding is fireworks shows. And then the old, I went to, like, back in the day when I was at university studying sports development, bring sport to a community to bring a positive change. Same story with funding, begging for money, blah blah blah. Very little follow on. People just in it for the little short space of time. But then there's the true activist people that were in it because they fully believed in it. It was their life, it was their passion, their excitement. You know, being an educator, being a networker, being a community member, and stepping up. And I'm not saying everyone has to step up in a community, but at some point, to a community to function, most people need to be stepping up. And yeah, I just felt with that whole intention, like with sport, with funding and the sports world and the voluntary sector a lot of the time. So most people are doing it for nothing. It goes back to Thatcher's, what was it, the care in the community, and then David Cameron's Big Society. Basically everyone's just volunteer, and then, you know, and you're being still in your, like, prisons of your homes and no access to land essentially. But anyway, that's that's a whole another kettle of fish really. But the point I was going to make was that the funding, while we're on it. So yeah, this Scouse guy comes to one of these conferences and he's like, it's like funding's like meteors, it comes out of the atmosphere and through all the layers, and by the time it hits the earth it's a grain of sand. The amount of money actually that can actually create an impact. And I'm not even going to start about certain funding, such as like Foresters Forest and, like, you know, nearly £5 million funding. We were one of the 32 projects.
I was going to say, let's do a quick recap. We should have just. We're not very good at videos yet, but we'll get better. But for people that don't know us, we got about we basically got lots and lots of funding, a few £100,000 in funding in the last few years.
It's not, in the grand scheme of things, not a lot of money for what we delivered, but anyway.
Starting with the Foresters Forest, yeah, and then more
doing
and more
7
in the past few
contracts with
years.
Forestry England over 5-year funding, and virtually none of those projects are still existing unless they're already part of a really established, recognised, we will play ball with you because you toe the line, basically non-radical as you can get. You know, Gloucester Wildlife, Toffs and the Wildlife Trust, you know, all that, you know, even the Woodland Trust to a certain degree, they still, you know, Greenpeace, they're all complicit.
We're at 10 minutes there, so we're going to try and cut
You're
them
all
off
complicit.
at 10 minutes. I just wanted to say
Radicalness.
that we got a lot of funding. We ended up employing lots of people, but trying to keep up with the bureaucracy. And then they cut all our funding because of an accusation that
Which
wasn't
is
even
false.
proved. It got proved false. Yeah, but that didn't stop them from cutting all the funding, which they
Or
don't.
evicting us from our craft centre
Yeah,
that we built 8
and they
years
don't.
ago for the
They
community.
don't shut down whole schools, do they? Because there's a safeguarding
Well,
investigation
investigation.
about a teacher. Anyway, yeah.
You can read all the
let us-
report on the Tinternet on our website.
Yeah, we're doing lots of writing and updating the website at the moment. Let us know what you think of this. Is it a bit rambly, or you know, are you enjoying it? And what else would you like us to talk about? We've got loads of ideas on what we want to talk
And
about.
the usual plugs is like Instagram, Radical Regen Rewilders, Radical Rewilders. There's not many people talking about Radical Rewilding, which is a whole other kettle of fish. And also check out us on Facebook as the Radical Regen Rewilders, as in Radical Regenerative Rewilders. And then if you just put the Rewild Project, which was our original name, search for that, you'll find us sort of Forested Eden. Even though Rewild, it's just been totally sold out, a lot of it.
And you can do all of that, thumbs up, and what else is it? Subscribing.
Yeah, share it,
Yeah,
blah de blah. Come join us.